So today, one of the ones I'm going to be using is the motivational quotes. These ones here. These are from the brand new March collection. So if you did get the March bundle, they would have come in your bundle. If you didn't get the March bundle, you can now still get some of the March, these exclusives that were here for that bundle singly as stencil sets on the site. So you can get them using my link and my code, I restore stuff, to get you 10% off, so don't forget that. It comes in a set of 3, so we've got 3 different lovely stencils with motivational sayings. Good things take time, with this cute hourglass here. Then we've got make today awesome, which is fun, and don't quit your daydream. So those are a set of 3, and they are called, so if you're looking them up and you didn't find them on my links, which are there in the description of the live, if you're on the Essential Stencil website, type in motivational and they'll come up with a bunch of motivational quotes and things. And use my code, I restore stuff, for you 10% off. So we are going to be putting those, one of those sayings, I'm yet to decide. No, I think I've picked about 2, so I'm trying to think which one to do out of those. Look what I found at our local op shop. I was op shopping, as we do here in Australia, thrifting you call it, going to the thrift store, the charity store, and I found this board, which is really cute. And you know, a lot of these wooden boards are fun to just to display in your home. It's got a hole here where I can add, and so I found some string, because it didn't come with anything, that I can hang it up with. So you can just hang it, or you can actually use it. Now what it said is it's a pizza board. So you take the pizza out of the oven, pop it on the board and put it, you know, display it. You can just sit it on the table for all your friends and family. You can cut it up on there. We don't make a lot of homemade pizza. Sometimes ours just comes from the box. So, but see how it's got this tapered edge on here? So I thought that was kind of cute. It was only, you know, a couple of dollars in a thrift store, and brand new in packaging, still had its packaging on, so we could just have used it. It'd fit a very small pizza on, not a New York one for sure. So I'm going to use that for stenciling on today and just create a fun sign, motivational sign for our home. So the other thing I want to get onto, and you could do double-sided, see, when it's hanging you can do it on the other side as well, so you could have 2 motivational boards. I have also got this board that I'm hoping to fit in our stenciling project time today. I've just, this is pallet board, so I've just literally screwed to, some of you are more handy than just finding something like a pizza board, and you can cut things. You've got the ability, or the, you know, the tools is what I'm trying to say, in your garage or whatever, to be able to cut boards. And so I've just cut up these, and I've used these well, they're not hinges. I forget what they're called. They're braces of some kind. So it's just a piece of metal with some screw holes in it. So you know, screw holes on each end, and you've pinned 2 boards together, paint it, and add a little hook to the back. And voila, you've got a signboard ready for stenciling on. So the other sign set's one, which is also still simple sayings, it's called Simple Sayings, set of 3. It also came in the March bundle, or if you didn't get the March bundle, you can get this set. The links are right there in the description of the live. So this has live simply, choose happy, and the other saying, simple saying, is stay humble. So we've got those set of 3 that we'll be using in a minute. So let's get started on this pizza board idea. Great ideas here, guys, for Mother's Day coming up. Rhonda said she's just ordered that set. Yeah, they're gorgeous, aren't they? Okay, so we've got Mother's Day ideas coming up, so this might be something that you might want to try for Mum. And pop my glasses on. And away we go. So we've got our board here. This is bamboo. You can tell what bamboo looks like. It's become a very common material to create things with. It's very hard, very sturdy, but they often seal it with some type of really glossy finish. So if you're wanting your paint work to stay on, I just usually will sand mine a little bit. I'm just trying to see where I am in the shot. Sand it down with just a bit of sandpaper. This is a 240 grit. All you want to do really is to just scuff the surface so that you can key it. You know, you're keying the surface to create a bit of extra grip for the paint to stick onto. So that's all that's needed. And I can wet that down with a wet cloth. Wait till that dries off, or dry it off. Ali says you can use a bee with humble. You could too. You could use the little bee. Where is that? So Ali just suggested with the bee humble, instead of stay humble, you could pop a little bee there from one of our other stencil sets. That's a great idea, because there are several stencil sets in the Essential Stencil range that have little bees on it with the honey sets and things like that. Okay, so which of the sayings did I choose? I feel like this one, I love it, but it's just a little too close to the edge, and now the edge actually is here on the board because it goes down and tapers down for the pizza board effect, for the serving the pizzas idea. I do love both of these, and so I might use this one first, and then I could use that one on the other side. Might do that later, might do it on the live. Let's see how we go for time. All right, so I've got my stencil ready. I'm trying to decide in my head what to do. Okay, so I was going to do, see these little, I don't know, let's call them rays of light coming out here. I want to add some metallics on that. So I'm trying to decide, and also the arrow, might do these kind of things in different colors and just do the words in black. So we've got a bit of, probably a little bit of taping off to do today. So I'm just going to add painter's tape. Hi, Sue. Yeah, Tammy's asking again, would you be able to use it after it's stenciled? Oh, possibly. So here's the thing, you could do it one side and then use just the other side for the food for the pizza, you know, so if you could have it displayed on your kitchen like this, and then when it's time to use it for your pizza, scoop your pizza up on this side and serve it up there. So, you know, you're not going to see if you were going to put food on top of it, you're not going to see the words, so it's not really a point. So I kind of feel like it's a either or, use it for food or use it for a sign, but you could do both if you did that flip idea, I suppose. But if you did want to put food on top of your boarded pieces, then I suggest finding a food grade sealer. I know there are some good waxes out there, but waxes don't do well with heat, but once they're cured, they're fine with putting the food on. Certain oil wax, yeah, someone was asking about that. So I know that Fusion Mineral Paint or Miss Mustard Seeds have an actual food grade wax. I think it's like a salad finish or something like that it's called. I'm going to add this tape right to here so that when I do these letters, they're not going to get paint on the sign, which I want to do a different color. Actually, I'm thinking, no, it's okay. And I'm going to have to tape off this little bit too, because that's one of the ones that I want to put and add yellow to. So I'm going to, here's my thoughts. I don't know if I said this before. I want to do metallic sort of up here, but I want to add yellow first. Sometimes when you're doing metallics, those metallics are quite translucent, and it's a good idea to add a base color underneath them so that it really helps that metallic to pop. See how I'm just taping up any area that's coming close to the words. If I want to use different colors, then you can tape them, or the other idea is you can just simply use your cardboard stock that comes with the stencils and you know, stencil around. So I could just pop that here and then do my stenciling like this. Alrighty, I'm going to use the colour Jet by Artisan, which is an Australian brand mineral paint. So you can use any mineral paint because you can't get that in the US. So you can use any mineral paint that you might have over there. I'm using Essential Stencil brush, 3/4 size. They come in a set of 4 different sizes. I'm missing a brush here. I must have left it in my cleaning things. Excuse me, I'll just have to shut the window. I don't know if you can hear. The neighbours are chattering across the fence. Kathleen's saying yes, hemp oil is. Yeah, so hemp oil is mineral grade, is food grade as well. But it may not seal as well over the paint. That's my only thought about that. Okay. Oh, might have to move this across so you can see I'm offloading. For anyone who's new to stenciling, let me know that in the comments. If you're new and you've never stenciled something before, or maybe you've ordered from Essential Stencil with all good intentions and you're still hesitant to stencil something, let us know in the comments. We are such a loving community here. The people who are watching these lives often have great tips and hints, and that's what we as ambassadors want to give you as well. So we want to encourage you. All right, so if you, let us know if it's your first time. Rhonda says she doesn't have this set. It is a good one, Rhonda. All right, I've got all my paint offloaded off the brush, and now I'm going to go onto the board and just do a swirly. It's kind of a stop and swirl motion. And I don't have quite enough on my brush to keep going, but I'd rather have not enough than too much, because if you have too much on the brush, it bleeds underneath the stencil and we get fuzzy edges, but we want nice crisp edges, so we offload it until there's pretty much, see, look how much is still on the brush, until there's pretty much none left on the brush. And then we just do this swirling. Oops, I didn't tape over the stars. That's okay. We'll be painting those in a minute. A different colour. Thanks, Connie, for your comment. Yeah, she's asking about food grade stain and paint, where you can get the pizza board. I'm not sure where you can get. I've found mine at a thrift store, so I'm sure there'd be lots of kitchen places would have pizza boards. Probably Walmart's got them over there. But yeah, I'll follow up your comment later and see if I can find my links for the food grade waxes and things. Hope everybody had a lovely Easter. It was good to see family and friends on Easter this week. Although my boys are in a different state, so we didn't get to see them this year for Easter. Oop. Kathleen says Hobby Lobby has pizza boards. There you go. So whoever was looking for a pizza board, great idea. Thanks for the tip. Yeah, this is a really good Mother's Day gift idea. And you could use any of the stencils for this type of thing too. I like it as an idea to hang as a sign in your kitchen, or sometimes you can just stand up your boards, you know, against the kitchen bench. Like, oops, we've done that in our kitchen. Just different size boards, just standing against the subway tiles as a bit of a background, and then they're handy to use actually as well. Doing a little bit of stomping or pouncing, I should call it. I usually do that when I find, you know, you get to know, oh, you got a little bit too much on the brush. You kind of get to know after practicing for a while. And talk about practicing. I talk about this on every live. If you are really hesitant, if you're one of those people before who says, I don't know if I want to, I'm too scared to stencil or whatever. Practice. Practice on a piece of cardboard like this. Just grab a cereal box and open it up and practice stenciling on there. Or stencil on paper, but I like card because cardboard's kind of a little bit more solid, whereas paper is a bit, you know, flimsy. And sometimes if you've wet it too much, the paint might not, it sort of reacts a little bit differently. Okay, so we've got a nice crisp lettering on there. I hope you can see that. So we've got to make today awesome. Oh, we haven't got the make on there yet. So I'm going to pop that down again and lift off where we're stenciling. And I will pop my stencil brush. You can either pop it, if you're not using it for the time being and you know you're going to use it again, pop it in a plastic bag, or just a wet cloth would be good as well. And so we're going to take these off now. Now this is a type of paint that dries very quickly. It's a furniture paint, a mineral paint, so they do go quickly. Yeah, these would look great on tea towels as well. I did a tea towel last week, didn't I? So if you missed that live, make sure you go watch that from last week. Right here in the video section, you'll see our playlists for all the ambassadors and what we've created. Okay, so found a little bit of that tea just on this tip. Was not stenciled properly. Okay, so now we'll kind of go back the other way, and I'm just testing to make sure that's dry, but when I put the tape down, it's actually just going to go on top of, oh, I thought I could make it. It's actually just going to go on top of the stencil, and it shouldn't touch the paint if you just pop it on really lightly. So we've got this little bit here that I can use to cover that up with. So just try not to push it down on the paint that you've just painted onto. Just lay it across the top of the stencil. It should bridge across. And this one, we'll try and go this way here. I'm trying to reach down there because I'm doing this star also. Oop, not quite. There we go. Nearly got it. I mean, I'm not likely to, but you just never know. I could scoot over there and accidentally put the yellow paint on my black paint that I've just painted. So that's kind of how you separate the bits and pieces. Now I'm just going to do some yellow, and then I want to use, oh, shall I use that yellow and then maybe add that as a base for some kind of metallic, like a vintage gold or a pearl. You can get all sorts of metallic paints these days. I just use acrylic paints. I use the Fusion paints, they're pretty good, and I do have a link for the Fusion mineral paints, their Amazon page, so I can give you that if you need that. You can pop that in the comments, and I always go through after we finish the live to help you out on, I feel like I need to go this way, nope, this way. There we go. So I'm using the top of that word make in a dark colour to make it stand out a bit more. I may have to do that afterwards. So I could just go over the top of it in the black if it's not really working out. I could also use that yellow as a shadow and just slightly move it. Move the stencil slightly. So Bonnie's asking, are the mineral paints thicker? I find that they are not as thick as a chalk paint, so you could use a chalk paint as well. But they are a bit thicker than just, well, they're still, I think they're probably similar to craft acrylic paints. So they've got that sort of thickness, but not like some paints, latex paints. Like your household paints might be a bit thinner. Okay, so just offloading that onto my board here. And we're making, I feel like they're rays of sunshine, just there to brighten up your day. So I'm wondering if it's going to stand out enough against the bamboo, because they're similar tones, you know, the yellow, so it should be okay, but being careful that my black and yellow don't blend on the brush as I go down there. Oh, someone said this is a great set for school. Yes, such a great set for the classroom, I think. Okay, now we can kind of get a bit of movement happening. Going across there. This is a beautiful little banner that you can even use. If you taped off the word make, you could put a different word in there that might have 4 letters. If you just have a look at some of the other stencils as you start to collect your essential stencils, you'll begin to see how many hundreds of possibilities, probably thousands actually, of possibilities you can create just by mixing and matching to create all different sign types. So what I'm hoping to do, again, as we always say, Sharon loves to experiment. If you've been following my lives for a while. Yeah, Bonnie says you're not a fan of chalk paint. Try a pro acrylic. Yeah, so acrylic type craft paints are great. This is mineral paint, which is acrylic based. Okay, so we've got that stripe going there. Now, just these little dots might need a little bit more just swirling and smushing under there. Oh, did anyone see that fly? How did you get in? That's annoying. You have that one fly that comes in. So the arrow down the bottom, we could do yellow as well, but I was thinking of doing red for that, just for something fun. Red arrow. Let's see, we'll type this over here, because it's a little bit close to the letters. And just popping my lid back on here. I'm not even going to give you a little peek yet. Just wait on. Hold your horses. Do they say that over here? Or is that, oh no, the video froze? No, mine looks like it's still going. So I think that we're good. Maybe Facebook froze me. Okay, just popping this in a wet cloth. A yellow one there. And we're going to find another brush. Oh, this is a thick one. Probably I should have used this for the larger letters, but it's okay. I'll just use that anyway. This is Cranberry by Fusion Mineral Paint. So it's a nice deep red. And we've got to dig right to the bottom of the barrel there to get that out. And once again, here we are. Whoop, moving across so you can see I'm just offloading that, working it into the bristles and going over that. This one's quite wide. I should have taped over here as well. Let's bring this guy down. Okay, Essential Stencil has just popped up the links there for some of the stencils that I'm using. So make sure you use my code, I Restore Stuff. Make sure that gives you the 10% off at the checkout. It's I Restore Stuff, all as one word though, when you're putting a code in, like when you're putting any code in. And that will get you 10% off anything in the Essential Stencil store. Okay, so we've done that red. It's probably all I'm going to do with the red, so I could just pop it in some water, but just in case, you never know where I might like to add a little bit of something. Okay, so let's have a look at that. So far, I'll just lift the bottom. Ta-da! So we've got Make Today Awesome. How's that looking? Hold that up there so you can see it above the comments. You can see the yellow, but I feel like I'd love it to be a little bit darker. Maybe I'll go over that with the black. So it's dried already, good dry. What if I shift it slightly for a bit of a shadow effect on the word make? I'll leave the rest of the banner because that's okay. So when I'm shifting it slightly, I just kind of shift it up diagonally. So it's across, up. Doesn't really matter which way, as long as it's sort of diagonal, and then you can create a bit of a shadow with it. So if I'm going to do this, I'm going to have to tape off a little bit extra. This one. Oh, I'm going to need those in a minute, so let me do some more. So Ken's asking where I got the board. I got it at a thrift store near me, and it's a pizza board, but apparently someone said you could get them in Hobby Lobby, Ken, so there's that. That fun idea. All right, so I'm just doing the word make, and it kind of curves. Oh, so that makes me have to then curve my tape here. Squash, squash, squash. And I'm trying to make my tape less sticky and less tacky, so I just put it on my skin. You can do that, or you can put it on your apron or something like that. All right, so there's the word make. I think I should be good with just that. Now I've got to get my black that I was using before. And pop a little bit more black on my brush. Always make sure if you're wiping off, flick it, because it flicks a few little flecks down there. So offloading my brush, then I'm just going to go over the top, and it'll help to make this really pop a bit more. And then you'll also see a little yellow shadow underneath. So oops, way too much now. I was also going to mention Stencil of the Month Club. Hey, 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 it's nearly May. Oh, I didn't even mean to rhyme that. Okay. And I was able to do my collaboration with Essential Stencil for the month of May, and it's such an honour and a privilege to be able to do that with them. So my design is actually music related. So if you love music, it's got music notes and musical instruments, and you know, we've got all the little lines and the staves, we've got book pages, which then you can use for other things. It's a really fun design, so I really hope you like it. But if you're not already in the stencil, you'll be able to see that at the link that I've got in the description of the live, stencilofthemonthclub.com, and you'll see my May design there. So if you join now, you will get the May design, and if you use my code, I restore stuff, you will get 50% off your very first month. So that's worth it right there. But I must say this. Whoops, it just froze again. Sorry, guys. Oh, hang on a second. Just got to find my comments here on the laptop. There we go. Okay. Yes, you're welcome, Linda. Let's see how the shadowing worked out, and then we'll pop down the these. Oh, there we go. So see how that really just makes that the word make stand out. I'm going to bring it up really close. So there you can see that yellow shadow in the background behind there, because I just shifted the stencil slightly. You know, just slightly across, slightly up. Either way, doesn't matter which way you go. And don't be scared to do shadowing. I just practiced on a cardboard the first time I did it and was really happy with the results. And so I've been doing it a lot ever since. It just really gives it that lovely little pop. So what my idea was is just to add a little bit of sparkle to those by just adding some kind of a metallic on top. Maybe the vintage gold, or it could be too close to that. I've got a copper. I've also got a pearl. So to do that, and see, that's going to make that, the pearl would just kind of make it sparkle a bit. I think the copper would be great over the red down there. Let's see how it works on the red. We'll do that first. See how that works out. So if you do if I did the copper metallic straight onto the board, it would probably be a little bit too see-through and translucent. Is that the word? Thank you, guys. You love that shadowing. Okay, so just using again, this is a fusion metallic. Oop, a little bit grungy on the edges there. And I've run out of stencil brushes. I'll have to use this other one. Hopefully that'll be okay. All right, just dipping it a little bit there. I've only got this much on the brush. See that little blob of, is it copper? What did I use? Copper. And just offloading that onto cardboard. Just popping that. I could do it sort of like a shadowing effect, but I think that you'll be able to see, you'll still see those red tones in there, but it'll just give it a bit of extra sparkle, I think. Because we've used the red as a base, it'll help to make it stand out. Oh, it's actually going nicely. See, I like to experiment on these things with you guys. You're always encouraging. We should just call this segment Experimenting with Sharon. And you wouldn't even have to do this full coverage. I feel like it's covering really well actually. I don't mean it to, but if you just wanted to just kind of roughly cover it, you'd still see a bit more of that red coming through. Wow, I want to see how that turned out. How about you? Oh, well, it kind of blends in a little bit with the board too much, do you think? Let me know. Be honest. I don't mind. I can take it. Yeah, it's blending in a bit too much now with the board. What a shame. Oh well. It looks sparkly from here. Let me see. Yeah, let me see what you guys are thinking. I can see your comments coming through. Not so much on the phone, but on my laptop. All right, well, you can always just go back over it with the red, can't we? And so this yellow here, it's nice and bright, but I was thinking of making, adding some metallic up to those sparkly lines, but something maybe like a pearl might be a bit less opaque, you know, less solid than the copper that I just used. Could try that. So leaving that there, taking this one off, and we've got to cover up this T again. Oh, we're going to keep that one there. Let's see, too much, yes. Maybe you could wipe back the copper. Oh, well, a little bit too late. It's actually dries super quick. Or I could sand it back. Okay, where's my little sanding pad? But I should wait until that's really dry before I even think of sanding it. If I just sanded it, it'll give it a nice antique-y look, make it look a bit rustic, and maybe let some of that red pop back through. So we'll try that, hey? Good ideas coming in the comments. Thank you so much, guys. Put a little red on top. Yes, good idea too. Okay, we'll go up here with this idea. Maybe if I shift it slightly off that yellow, we can see that metallic a little bit more easily. See, I'm not going to shift it very far, just ever so slightly. We might be able to see a bit more yellow. I don't want to get, do I? Don't know if I want to get the pearl on the word make. So let's see if I can cover that completely. But still, I'm going to get that there. There we go. There we go. All right, so we've covered the word make so that I leave that alone, but now we're going to just have another play with another pearlescent colour. Oh, making a mess here. This is a metallic also. Yeah, the cranberry's nice, isn't it, Connie? I like it too. I need to get that red popping back through there. So if sanding it a little slightly doesn't work, then I can always just add a bit more red back onto the top. Okay, I've got my copper brush here, so I need another one. Oh, it's lucky I've got a few little spares, but I am missing my other little stencil brush. Oh, this yellow one might work actually. I'll use my brush that I used for the yellow, so it's kind of got yellow in there, but I'm going to dip it in the pearl, and so it kind of will look a bit more yellow. So the pearl, this is the Fusions metallic pearl. You can mix it with other colours, you know, the metallics. So mixing it with that pearl might just give it a bit more of a metallic sheen, but also a bit of a white. I don't know if you can see that here. Let me show you the piece of cardboard that I'm going off on. So see, it's tinted the pearl to be a little bit yellow there, which is fine. We're just making it a little sparkly, aren't we? Just give it that nice metallic look. Oh, I feel like I had a bit too much on my brush there. So it's almost just made it a bit more white into the yellows, just made it a very much more pastel yellow, which might stand out against the board a bit more too, you know, so there's that. Yeah, Donna, I've got a link for these paints. If you on link to their Amazon store, the Fusion paints, they have metallics, lovely colours, like vintage gold and all sorts of fun things. It's just adding a bit of shimmer. You can kind of tell where I've been from the lighter colour yellow that's on here, but it's a good blend. Offloading the brush. Yeah, I think it's a nice pastel lighter colour actually. And it'll have that sort of metallic sparkle through it, which may not come out as much on the video. Yes, Kim, I should have brought out my second set of brushes. Having a second set of brushes really helps when you're doing multicoloured stencil sets, absolutely. And these are also available on the Essential Stencil website. Use my code IRestoreStuff, get 10% off your brushes as well. All right, I think I have too much paint right there. I'm a little bit worried I've got some fuzzy edges happening, but we'll see. Okay, ta-da, let's have a little look. Oh yeah, it does stand out a lot better, bright, light shimmer, although that may not turn out on the video as much. So see that arrow down the bottom? Let's have a little bit of a work on that, shall we? So we learn all sorts of things on our lives here, guys, and you're learning with me half the time. And we experiment, and I'm just showing you the process, how to experiment and how to, you know, fix up little accidents, whatever you're doing. I'm just popping that in the cloth. Where did I pop my sandpaper now? There it is. So this may be a little harsh. We'll just try it. We'll just try doing it really gently. On the bottom of the arrow here. See if that red pops through. So it might be a fun look, a little rustic, bit of copper and a bit of red peeking through. I'm trying not to make sure that red, because if it was too wet, it might sort of bleed over and onto the board. So as I wipe that, just making sure it's not too, you know, it's not, I don't know how to say it, it's not looking weird on the board. Okay, oops, where am I going? This way. Is it starting to show through a bit more? Dry that off. It dries very quickly, this paint. So I hope I don't make a great big mess. Well, we can always just paint over it, can't we? Oh, it might have blurred a little bit over here. We'll see what happens when that dries. But I think it stands out a little bit more now. We've got it standing out a bit more. It's a bit wet where I just wiped the cloth on it over here. So I'm hoping that that red, that I haven't wrecked it and made it bleed around the corners. All right, so there's that bit. Okay, so I've got that other sign to do. That one was fun. And like I said before, you could always add it, make it double-sided and use one of the other gorgeous stencils on that as well. And then you could have a great double-sided sign for your kitchen. Or if you did want to use it for pizza, which is, it's a pizza board, so if you wanted to use it for that, flip it over this way and use it as the pizza board to have food on it. Okay, but I would seal that still with some kind of a sealer. I may go over some more of that with the red afterwards. So our other signboard we can quickly do, I wanted to show you, this one goes this way, so we'll just have to move it around a bit. Let's pop this here. This one is from the set Simple Sayings, which has 3 simple sayings. If you didn't see earlier, simply live, stay humble, and choose happy. So we've got 3 of those things. Oh, look, let's choose happy today. I think that'd be fun. And so I've just painted these boards. If you joined me earlier, you can go back and see how I explained how I did this. I've got to make sure I've got it up the right way, because I do have a hook on the back of this one. Otherwise, I'll be shifting that hook, which isn't always, it's just extra work, isn't it? We don't like to make extra work for ourselves. So, all right, so this is the Simple Sayings set, 3-pack set. So what I did want to show you, because this board is quite rough and has a lovely grain in here, remember last week we used a clear glaze and mixed it with any other paint to tint it. Well, this week I wanted to show you, we've got antiquing glaze, which is also is just all pre-made, and it's just a brown colour, and it antiques the look of it. So I'll just use that black again over the, it's not really white, it's kind of an off-white creamy colour. And so, yes, Sherry says, trying to choose happy some days harder than others. Exactly, so that's why we need these signs to remind us, isn't it? That's exactly right. Okay, so I'm going to centre that as best I can on the board, and I can't really use tape today. You could try and do one of these deals and kind of stick that there and poke it under and try that. That might work if you're worried about moving it. You can always do that. Double your tape over and then just leave it there, and it sort of stays. Okay, where's my one that I used in the black? Just a nice simple farmhousey kind of sign, this one, but I really wanted to show you that antiquing glaze and how that looks over the top of that board, making it all rustic looking. And stay tuned, guys, because we've got prizes for 3 lucky winners at the end of our live today, so there's that. Okay, I just simply rubbed off most of the paint, and then I'm just going to go, and we've got that line in the middle, you know, the seam, but that's what makes it all the more rustic and farmhousey and fun. So we go round and round and round, swirling as we go, because I've moved most of the paint off the brush. We're not going to get bleeding underneath unless we have too much paint on the brush. So you can see it's getting slightly lighter in colour, but I've gone all of that way just by swirling the brush, because the paint gets right up in those bristles and you're just adding more each time you swirl around. You might even have some more right here on the cardboard. We are running out, so we add a bit more. Oh, thank you. Marilyn said she's learning so much today. I'm so glad. I love to give as many tips as I can, because I know some of you are new to stenciling. Some of you have not seen every live that there is to see, or every video that there is to see about stenciling, sign making, crafting. They are really great motivational sets. You know, can you see this on t-shirts? You can see it on tea towels, signs for the home decor, great gift ideas. If you want to make a sign for somebody else. Now I know that you guys in the United States, I'm in Australia, we have maybe 1 craft store that is like the major craft store that everyone goes to, maybe 2. But over there, I know you have a lot, and you have huge, if only we had a Hobby Lobby over here, right? You guys have a lot of craft stores, and they make signs that you can just purchase the wood. But if you wanted to make your own, I love to use recycled wood, and this is actually just recycled wood from a pallet. It's a cute little font, nice straight font, this one with the word choose. On some of our other videos I've shown you how to mix and match words, and who was it? earlier, and I've forgotten who it was now, mentioned that instead of choose happy, you could put be happy with a little B on there. And even the same with, was it stay humble? No, she said stay humble. You could change it to be humble. You could do that with this too. A little buzzy bee saying be happy with a bee on it. Oh, I need to find my fly swatter. All right, there we go. So there is this really nice, simple to do is show you how to glaze that with an antiquing glaze and to clean our stencils. I will just do that afterwards, but just using a cloth. So here's our glaze. Oh. Our antiquing glaze. Oh, we've got some winners already. Guys, congratulations. Just going to glaze this for you to show you how to add that on. So we've got a nice rustic sign. You could sand that back a little bit to add to it. So for the glaze, you can brush it on just with a brush, or you could wipe it on with a cloth. But what we do want to do is wipe it off with a cloth. So you're going to add it and it's going to look quite drastic and ugly to start with. I'll just do the top layer here. So we're going to add the glaze into all of the nooks and crannies, and it'll fit in all of the grain. All of the grains of the woods. Congratulations to our winners today, Connie and Sharon, and I have to click to see more. And Linda. And don't forget to share our live, guys, if you've got a page that you like to share things on with DIY crafts and things. So there's the top. We've glazed it with the antiquing glaze. And if you do want to know where you can get this from, I can send you my Amazon link if you just pop that in the comments that you'd like to know where the antiquing glaze comes from. Now I'm going to wipe that there. See my black on the sign is probably actually not dry enough, so you should probably wait until it's a lot drier, because as I wipe there, it's reactivating the paint and coming off. But it's fine. I think that you can still, it looks more rustic and antique actually. See how that lettering is a little bit lighter? It's just come off there. If I hold it up close, you can see. So the antiquing glaze is what gives you that lovely antiquing finish. And now, if I had let this dry a lot more, you know, leave it a couple of hours before you glaze it, not straight away like I did, because as you can see, it's just starting to come off there as I wiped back. But just for consistency, we're going to go ahead and do the bottom, and always do your sides as well. I would probably do that too. Again, just adding the glaze all over the sign. This is Fusion's antiquing glaze. And glaze isn't meant to be an actual sealer, so if you were worried about your sign, you know, getting wrecked or getting disturbed, the paint getting disturbed, you can always add a sealer on top. So here we go again, just wiping that back. So see how it looks dark, but then as you wipe it back, and there we go, a lovely antiquing look to that. How perfect is that? And a great rustic sign.